Welcome on to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, for the first game of the Conqueror League semifinals. My name is Django, and I will be your color caster. And joining me is a good friend of mine, Rhino, a familiar face, is back on the air. Conqueror League, best of fives, EMB versus DCC. How ya feeling?
Dude, it's hard to get more hype than I am for a game like this. There's already been some spicy picks. We're seeing the meta shift up just a little bit. I'm super excited to see the fight between these two mid laners. These are two really good players who are often focal points of their teams. Empress Tenebria had some amazing games last week in bringing EMB to this point, while DC played really well in the regular season and got themselves that first bye. And you do see the respect from both squads as both look to get kind of the 5 point, get some early vision down and prepare themselves for the coming battle.
Yeah, we have a very... I feel like this matchup is so misconstrued right now because you rewind the clock like 3-4 weeks, less than a month ago, you would have said that these are the two teams we expect to be finals. This was our
I think that
going
Dust
into
talked
week
about it
number
a little
6
bit,
in the
but the
regular
scaling
season.
for both of these teams is really high. The Lethality Misfortune will be a little bit more of a mid-game spike. As Pavlo taking some rough trades there, he'll be able to sustain
At least a little bit of production issues. So sorry about that, folks. We lost you momentarily. I don't believe much is going to come out of this top lane
see. It's
fight.
going to be close. Barely doesn't get the vital there. Could have been the turn.
All right. So, to catch you up very, very, very quickly before any more action happens, in the top lane, you see Data has gone down for first blood. It was actually Data who was getting the push in on the lane and attempted a tower dive. Puffle, with a beautiful riposte, turned the dive around and got first blood 1v1 in the top side. And then Angel and Sundaddy were just able to grab pressure in the bot lane, had the push in, walked over with K-Peps and took the dragon. No fighting over that one. So an uncontested dragon for DCC, or EMV rather, so sorry. An uncontested... No, it's DCC. The logos on the stream are wrong, Mr. Production Man. DCC is on the red side.
It becomes Lightning, gonna get a tag in for Senor Paco the Taco. The jump in from Villain and Glasses. Nobody's taking Tower Aggro yet. Here comes the ultimate from the Misfortune, is gonna force them back.
Ult.
He does have ult, but I don't think there's enough re-engage. Sundaddy doesn't have ult yet, so that Leona not gonna be able to turn the tides in that one. But they do get the Ignite out of the Leona, but the flash is burned for Villain and Glasses in response.
Overall, fairly good out of DCC bot lane to be able to turn that. The bullet time you can see, even with just a couple longswords, is already dealing a boatload of damage, and that's not ever really going to stop. I think I do want to see a little bit more out of this Syndra, maybe even combine it with the Zhao, because I think the desk was pretty critical of the Corki pick into Syndra. Syndra having the more dominant lane phase, but Erinyes has just been able to weather the storm. The tier picked up first item, I believe, and just hasn't really been punished for this pick in the mid lane.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. Well, both of them, this is their most played in solo queue. Both of them have the Corki as their most played. So Empress clearly feeling that they would be able to take the Syndra into the Corki, and that they didn't need to pick the Corki themselves.
And
right,
we're back. Puffle's down.
There it is. Shut down as Senor Paco the Taco was waiting over in the bush there for the cheese. There has been some action. I apologize for the production issues. Hopefully we've got a handle on it now. We did see some kills coming in that team fight. I don't know if anybody saw it. Another dragon did go over. That was taken by the Volibear. We had another couple kills going on in the bot side of the map as well. Misfortune grabbing something while Sundaddy does miss on the Eclipse, which is kind of a problem here. Bichi going to get the slowdown. They are going to potentially be able to chase through. Ult is available for Empress, but not going to unleash any power at the moment as the Volibear moves in, and it looks like the second Reptiles will go the way of EMP.
Yeah, so let's break down the top end of it, right? Puffle's having a very good time up in the top lane. He's absorbing a fair amount of pressure right now. CS lead has erupted for the Fiora. Mid lane still fairly even. Empress did pick up a kill, but Corki's been involved in a lot of the fights. Villain has the jump and should be fine.
Ooh, good cleanse. That's another buster shot, though. Yeah, he's going to get the turret's going to go down. They were trying to feed that kill over to Angel, not able to do so, and the Volibear picks one up, but it's another kill in the bot lane, and they're not really going to have to give up much for it. Villain and Glasses probably need to be a little bit safer there. As you can see, Gore Drinker, there's the riposte. It's a really interesting mind game. Oh, that's a really nice Ornn combo coming out of Data. Puffalo forced to flash away. And your Pocket Taco doesn't have his to follow, and it looks like that will be the end of the play. I do love looking at nice Ornn mechanics. He got the knock-up into the immediate R2, which gives you 2 brittle procs, as well as the double knock-up there. They are going to try to get Ornn this First Blood turret, which I find very interesting. Grand Challenge is going to come out from Fiora, but yeah, he's going to get knocked back with the ultimate. Now trying to heal.
Has no mana.
Yeah, this could be a problem. Gets the proc on both of them as well. The healing's going to come through. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it looks like Data managed to get the knock-up in the bot lane. There's another dive. Villain in Glasses is dead yet again. This is a really...
Does Puffle find him?
I don't think so. He guessed for the later bush, which, to be fair, is probably a better guess. Not able to find him. Like you said, though, he's absorbing a ton of pressure down there. Meanwhile, the Tristana has fallen, and that means that all of this turret damage is going to go over to DragonClaw.
That's a story of the top side for EMV versus the bottom side for DCC. Angel and Stun Daddy have been getting a lot of attention, but Rift Herald top side puts Puffle down that tower. Now, the Fiora's not going to be too upset about that. The long lane actually favors her. I think the idea is just to get the Ornn out of dodge, as Peachy does have to blow an ultimate and a shield on the tower to stop the...
Oh, this could be bad. There's the flash. He gets the explosion. He'll have his W back up, but the stun is so long from Stun Daddy, and the bullet time's going to clean up a double kill. Angel coming out huge as DragonClaw wins the bot lane.
Villain in Glasses thought that they had their moment. No one around, just a straight 2v2. But Angel, with a clutch exhaust, was able to take them down. Stun Daddy played it beautifully as well. They got a lot of pressure before that 2v2, but that one just about cemented the bot lane in favor of DragonClaw Cloud.
Definitely agree. Paco looking for something around the mid here. Yeah, oh, Data's here too. There's the ultimate. They're going to blow a lot of ults for this. Flash comes out from Harnix. The knockup isn't going to land from Ornn, but it doesn't matter. He is going to be able to get the brittle proc as Senor Paco cleans up under the turret in the mid lane. Dragon is spawning in 49 seconds here, so that death may matter, but the teleport will be available for Corki.
Teleport is available. There's no package currently sitting in base. That has a couple minutes to spawn. We unfortunately did not see the first package on stream. It was a utilized bot lane. That's where we got most of those assists.
They're trying to take this turret. They are going to get it, but Paco is going to give his life away, trying to just go in and get some damage. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the turret went down, and now Fiora is going to chase Ornn down the lane. That is some really unfortunate things going down for EMV as the dragon is about to spawn, and that will probably put DragonClaw Cloud on Soul Point.
Really thought the game was going to be about mid lane. These superstar mid laners, we expected the focus to be around them, but it hasn't been the point right now. And I think the big difference is, while DCC has a crazy strong bot lane, it's EMV who's been pumping resources up into the top side, trying to take down Puffle. Puffle's only died once and gotten the tower in return. Did lose first tower of the game, but got the tower back pretty quickly and winning the 1v1, up 43 CS already. Mythic and a half. Like, it feels like the strong side of DCC is a lot stronger than...
Apep's going in. Senor Paco the Taco is going to take it. The ultimate from the Bullbear isn't actually going to land. Stun Daddy's going in, but his Aftershock is now down. Looks like they may be able to re-engage Empress. Not going to commit anything. They don't have vision of the rest of the members, so they are going to back out after that. Nobody's going to go down.
Able to disengage and get away with that. It felt like both teams weren't really sure what was happening there side of the map, and everyone just decided to shake hands and walk away. But right now it's DCC who's walking away with a massive lead. They've got 4K up. There's 3 dragons to 0, and while K-Peps feels like he hasn't been... It's weird because it feels like K-Peps hasn't been ganking as much as Taco, but it feels like every time he shows up somewhere, something actually happens. He's been at most of the objectives, gave up a Herald, but other than that, doing really solid on this jungle Volibear, just outpacing the Xin Zhao and out-ganking him.
Absolutely, and the devs brought up, they didn't understand the Xin Zhao pick into the Volibear. Now, Xin Zhao, a few patches ago, was a little bit stronger, and Volibear was not quite as strong, but I think now I agree with their sentiment that... Volibear, it's a good matchup for him, and he's not only had higher kill participation by quite a bit, but he's also up almost 50 CS in a jungle matchup, which is just really, really rough if you're looking at Senor Paco the Taco here trying to keep his team in this one.
I'm gonna bring a little bit of attention to this because, you know, it's always something people like to talk about when there's a bit of lull in the game is the item builds that you do see. And Erinyes has decided to go for the Immortal Shield build this game, not opting into that poke build, which was nerfed a little bit, but still usable. And honestly, I do like the Immortal Shield build this game. There's going to be a lot of threats coming into, like the Cell, like the Ornn. Tristana will inevitably be jumping forward in a fight. And there's not a lot of other poke on your team composition, so it's not really like you're synergizing with a Xayah or a Jhin or something of that nature. So I do quite like that. At least works with the rest of his team as we just see Puffle continue to be a menace to Data here underneath the tower. Lost that trade by a little bit, but I don't think that's going to scare Puffle off taking this 1v1.
No, he has the sustain, and even though Ornn does have the early Bramble along with the what is that one called? The Warden's Mail. He's going to be doing better in this matchup. It's going to be a lot harder for Puffalo to kill him if he's playing safe, which he should be. So hopefully that means no more solo kills. But Ornn's role is definitely going to be reduced, and now that Fiora has been kind of sprung ahead, she's going to be... Oh, that's a nice stun in the mid lane. Not going to be any more than that, though. And now that she's going to have complete control over the sideways. And that just means that wave control can pretty much always be in the flavor of DragonClaw on these sideways as they're preparing for objectives with this gold lead.
Absolutely, and there's been a little bit of a lull right here, but I actually can really appreciate that there has not been a lot of action. This kind of middle point where it's like 17 to 20 minutes where there's no dragon up, Baron hasn't spawned yet, Heralds are off the map. I feel like it is the most easy point of the game to absolutely throw gold leads. It is so unbelievably easy to just try and take fights because you feel like you're ahead and you feel like you have to, but when there's nothing to fight over, there is much more to gain for your opponents than there is for you to gain off of it. So I really do like DCC taking it easy, scaling up, playing safe in the lanes. You can see Puffle when people are off the map, backing off into the middle of the river and not overextending. And now the team has a minute till Dragon. Now you can see they've swapped to the Fiora up to the top side to get that pressure up there. They want this soul. They've got their eyes laser focused on it. It's going to be very hard for EMV to come into them. It's one item and change for all of their members. Meanwhile, everyone on the side of DCC outside of that top laner is on a strong 2-item power spike.
Very true. It's a Mountain Soul. The teams are currently collaborating around as Fiora is still remaining topside, but she's doing a really nice job. This is something, and you talked about it already, but I want to touch on it again. It is very difficult at, I would say, elos like Platinum and below, and I speak as one of these players. To play as a split pusher properly is surprisingly difficult, and so you have to kind of time your aggression with the...
Paco, where are you going?
Yeah, he wants in on Harnix. There comes the Ornn ult over the team.
Oh!
As the Valkyrie goes in, he's going to actually knock Ornn out of the second half of that ultimate. That is huge. He will give his life for it, though, but it's a 1-for-1 so far. That's a great, huge stun. As here comes the bullet time. Dylan Glass is able to bounce away. The flash into the Buster shot. Flash forward from K-Peps is going to clean that one up. It's a 2-for-1 so far. Empress Tenebria,
this is a 4v5, by the way.
Yeah, Fiora's continued to push in the bot side. Already took one turret. Is going to take another as well. Heroics out of Harnix. He may have died for it, but he absolutely gave his team the team fight win there. Volibear is going to be able to secure this Mountain Soul as the only smite on the map. Ornn has to back to deal with the Fiora, and I don't even know if he's going to be able to as the turret goes down. Is going to chase the Fiora away now. Empress Tenebria maybe wants to go over, see if they can catch the Fiora on the retreat with no mana, but doesn't want to step into the jungle alone, and in the end, DragonClaw get what they want.
Well, absolutely got what they wanted. It's a 2-for-2 in the team fight, but like I stated, it was a 4v5 the entire time. Puffle did not have an ounce of an idea of teleporting into that fight. Had his eyes set on the lane, got 2 towers for his trouble. His team was able to clean the fight. Angel, really nice positioning, never really being in trouble. You can see Villain and Glasses trying to get on top of them, but as soon as the Tristana went in, didn't have the damage to finish the kill, and then wasn't able to run away as K-Pep splashed on top of them. We can see Empress has made it to the Shadow Flame, 2 items completed for the Syndra, as well as a Frozen Heart for Data. So the solo laners have caught up slightly. But if I do check, yeah, there's a little bit of gold, a small amount of gold in Angel's pocket. Everyone else has spent theirs, so in essence, they have a better fight at the Baron, but not really because they gave over that massive soul win condition.
Yeah, and Mountain Soul in particular against a team that I would say lacks, especially with the Tristana being so behind, lacks consistent damage. You have a decent amount of burst from the Syndra, but Mountain Soul Shield really nullifies that well. Gapaz wanting to go in here. Paco is his target. Knock up from the Tornado over the wall. But here comes Stun He's into the middle. Yeah, this is a 4v4. Once again, the Ornhorn's only going to land on the support, however. Can they burst it down? Gapaz is going in. Another Tornado to break it up, but the bullet time is huge. Is it enough? Ornn dashes forward, trying to get onto the members, but he's not able to as they continue to walk away. However, their team is not really taking
No one's taking damage.
Vici finally takes the bad end of a double up, and that may stop the fight. But yeah, both teams now. However, Corki might be stuck here. Do they know? They do. They are going to back away. Villain is forced to 1v1 this Tristana. He has the Tristana. He's down 2 levels. Uses the Gale Force. It's just not enough. Buster Shot already down on the last exchange. And Villain and Glasses goes to 1-6. The Fiora continues to split while his team starts the Baron.
I'm not sure about the Villain solo fight. Paco's gonna go down at the Baron pit, tried to stick his nose in, got his hand caught in the cookie jar. 2 members go down for EMB, and 25 minutes into this game, it was looking pretty hard for EMB to come back, and at this point, I'm gonna throw out the D word, or I know it's pretty much doomed.
Dude. That was a Futurama reference, and I'm sure nobody got because it wasn't a very good one. All right, they finally do clean up the Baron. They have themselves the Mountain Soul Elder spawning in 3 minutes, but with a really good split pusher who did pick up the Death Dance. And this is nothing. Puffalo has played really, really well this game. I feel like Hullbreaker. This is a really good spot for Hullbreaker this game. He's been split pushing so hard that even if the team comes to get him while he has Hullbreaker, I think there's a very good chance he at least takes one with him, if not escapes entirely. Not that Death Dance isn't a fantastic item, it is, but I feel like with the playstyle he's doing, I would have preferred it this game. I'm sure he will get it eventually. The rest of his team, though, is going to be pushing on the top side of the map while he continues to split bot. There is a second turret still remaining in the mid lane, and the minions are not pushing to it yet. And you can see Puffalo may be moving over to get that wave pushing so they can get 3 waves of pressure.
Oddly enough, their mid lane is a bit of a vortex here, so they're going to try and force it.
There's the ultimate Sun. Villain and Glasses uses the cleanse, but it doesn't matter as the ultimate came down from Leon. Now Paco the Taco stuck in the backline. He knows the right target, but he just explodes. Now, Ornn is able to get in the backline, and they do finally manage to shut down the Misfortune thanks to the ultimate out of the Syndra. However, the rest of the team is going to fall in response. Again, it's a 4v5 as the Fiora is not here. Volibear cleans up another. It's a 4-for-1. They got the AD carry, but they're going to lose the game in response.
Yeah, and maybe Angel shouldn't have gone down with that stopwatch in pocket. I'm pretty sure he had that one. Maybe he didn't, but it does not matter. The AD carry does go down for the first time for DCC, but I'll trade an AD carry for Nexus any day of the week. Game 1 looks like an absolute stomp from DragonClaw Cloud.
That was... it looked very easy for them. They pretty much won everywhere except arguably mid lane, but it didn't really seem to matter too much. And with an 11k gold lead at the final buzzer, they do go up 1-0 in this best of 5.
No. Oh, my Discord died there. I wasn't sure if you stopped talking or my Discord died. We've got a lot of things done. We're going to cut it off pretty soon here. You will have the analyst desk to come back in shortly. They will talk all about game 1 and how DCC dismantled EMV and what EMV can do to make this a series. It's a best of 5. Still got a long ways to go ahead of us, but DCC looks strong so far. Stick around to figure out how it ends.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient and soon. It can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous, it's the world honestly burning. That's all I'm learning, hope that we can make a turn and start reversing. All our minds, we put the work in, we got some work, man. I started to go. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tie up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, we made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass halfway. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the red inside a payphone. Just wanna break, no, I'm not gonna give in. Take a last shot, Michael J. Win. No, I'm not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost when thoughts pull you in. I miss the old you, we died with a purpose. All the energy around me felt nervous, scared I would pop off fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had a given art, but now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card. A royal flush of love, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at. I'ma fight like I'm mad, I'ma be something that they can never be me. Nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything while they stay salty. I started to go, gotta get through. I started to go, gotta get through. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all.
All right, we're back. It's your boy Goose, joined by Young Valiant and Lame. After that, game one of DragonClaw Cloud versus Yes, Malevolent Vendetta. That is a mouthful every time. So the predictions seem to be accurate from the analyst desk, except for mine, unfortunately. However, I'm wondering, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? And I know it almost might be too easy to just ask, what do you think? Why did it play out the way it did? So I want to know, what did DragonClaw Cloud do right in that game that really allowed them to end that game in that 27 minutes, up about 10K? What did they do right there?
I think that we even have to go back a step further than the game. I think that the real proof is in the pudding there. The draft really just was that much of a gap, personally, in my opinion. When we saw that Syndra pick come out first and blind, we knew that it was a bit interesting, especially given our knowledge of the team EMV because of our back-to-back plays against them, both in the last week of regular season and also into the quarterfinals. They had every opportunity in the world to take some comfort picks with the Corki, the Volibear. We really did fall victim to the Volibear at the hands of Senior Paco last week. But like that's really where the problems start, rather than the successes from DCC. Is their draft definitely would not get Guo's seal of approval. I really don't. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
So you think before the game even started, you feel as if DragonClaw Cloud just kind of outclassed them in the draft, both with that Volibear pick, and as well as getting that Corki away. Granted, they did first pick the Syndra on EMV. What do you think, Lame? What do you think? Let's talk about the draft here. What do you think about the draft? I know I think I heard you say that GCC helped them out, but what do you think might go different in this next draft, or what can change here so that EMV can get Guo's seal of approval?
Well, I mean, right when the match started, Guo actually messaged me. He's flying back to China because he's absolutely done with NA because of what he just saw from EMV, right? You don't pick Syndra, right? First pick. Without any cover bans. I mean, oh, you banned Syndra Ari. Good job. Great. You're doing fine. Not really. And then
Well,
you see...
They did ban the 3 mids. They did ban the 3 mids, but go on.
Oh, I mean, Xerath is also a flex pick, but he's definitely never going to go mid. On top of that, they seemed like they wanted to lock in that Xin Zhao, even though there was a Volibear. What you're supposed to do when you have a Xin Zhao, right? And this is innovative, right? It's called... It's just Mike Mpreg, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to pick Xin Zhao, and you're going to take an Enchanter mid lane, because mid lane sucks, right? Mid is a support role. Your whole job is to get leads for other players, and what the best way to do that is a Soraka, a Karma, any Enchanter in the game. Even a Janna. Or Bard. Bard mid would be the best thing in the game. Bard with Smite and support item would be the best pick. Maybe not with Xin Zhao, but it's the best pick. You take Karma, first pick, as opposed to Syndra, and then they don't know what's going on, right? It was banned, but you get it, right? You take 2 Enchanters, you put his Xin Zhao in the mix. He doesn't even care that there's a Volibear. He can't die.
That's a hot take with that support mid lane advice for EMV. We'll see if they do take that advice in the second game here. But okay, so we've kind of are all in agreement that the draft didn't go too hot for EMV. They should definitely change some things up. Maybe consider getting that Volibear out of there. Maybe consider not picking the mid lane first, or even going so crazy as if you are going to pick the mid lane first, make it a support champion, because mid lane is just a awful role to carry from, according to our analysts here. So let's talk about the game then here. I know we missed a little bit of the beginning due to some production issues. However, we did get to catch a majority of the game, and at that time, by the end of it, DCC was up by 10K gold. So I do want to go back to what do you think DCC did correct in that game?
I just wanted to say that when it comes to what they did well, they did it shiningly. So what we saw in the bot lane, just magnificent play, absolutely punishing Villain in glasses. I'm not sure what the final KDA was, but it's never something you want to see in a fives set. I saw a couple good, very good ganks from the Volibear into the EMV bot side that really did punish some bad positioning. The one in which Villain Glasses got chased through the enemy blue side, it was just absolutely magnificent, and just incredible strength from the Misfortune. Really good ultimates on her behalf, good synchronization with the stuns from Leona. And then also, I think the shining star of that game, just hands down, has to go to Buffalo. The Fiora play was just something of magnificence. We knew going into it that she would have the agency in the lane. Ornn never wants to see a Fiora, almost never. And we said in the draft that Ornn's agency was just going to be absolutely stripped away from him with these picks. And the Fiora did a perfect job of that. Absolutely gorgeous split pushing. It's something that Guo really is going to have to implement into our top lane and our team, because wow, it was something special, really.
It's unfortunate that Guo's going to China, and we may never get to meet the man, the myth, the legend himself. However, let's keep talking about this top lane here. You said that Fiora just did wonderful in that split push matchup, and kind of making the Ornn irrelevant. However, we did see a few signs of life in that early game between the Ornn and the Zen, and it almost seems like the Zen is favoring that top side with those ganks, getting a kill, getting the flash out early in the game in the first 10 minutes, I believe. So I'm going to toss it over to you, Lame, and I'm wondering if is there something there? Is there something that Senior Paco, Taco, and Data can do? Is there a combination that they can pull out to really shut down the DCC top laner in this next game?
Well, I mean, blinding Ornn is fine, right? You can have Fiora. It is what it is. Ornn security is really good. So it's not a matter of Daida and Paco. It's a matter of the rest of the board, right? Don't give him Xin Zhao when there's a volley bear, unless you're picking enchanters. And then take the Ornn top and do the Brad M Preg strat, right? So what you're doing here, you have Tristana, Janna, Syndra. They perform really well in the mid game. Instead of dying before level 6, don't. There you go.
Spoken beautifully, personally. Be careful here, Liam, because we don't want Guo is going to put us in the rice fields if we give away the strategy book, man. We do not want to be giving them too much of the playbook. It's we don't want a Houston Astros situation on our hands here. But yeah, like he said, I really do think that it is not on the onus is not on Data and Paco. They really, last game, we did see a lot. The only thing I think that Paco did wrong that game was that he funneled his resource of jungle time and jungle ganks into the Ornn, which realistically in a lot of scenarios is very good. Getting the Ornn to those high level spikes where you're buffing your team early as possible is a good strategy, but we knew going into it that with the Fiora on the other side of the board that was going to become a little more difficult. We saw in the early game a lot of ganks going to the top side and a lot of 2v2 skirmishes, right, where we were seeing these resources be poured into Data. What he needed to do, I think, was let Data be on his own and hope that he could pull something through, and really he needed to focus on the bottom half of the map, and really he really needed to trust his top laner that he could sort of subdue Buffalo's Fiora. And I think that resource needs to be poured somewhere else if we're going to see a similar split push scenario or a good counter matchup, which is likely to happen again if they do blind their top. So I'm really hoping to see a change up in the game plan here. And I'm hoping to see a good Guo approved strategy brought into the next matchup.
Awesome. So the power of friendship was not enough for Data and Senior Paco the Taco to take over that top lane. But let's see if either team switches it up in this next draft as we take a little break and then hop into the draft here. Oh, I believe we might even be hopping right into the draft here.
Okay, we got the action.
Awesome. And just a heads up for the viewers out there, this draft is pre-recorded, so the picks come in fast. There's about a 15 seconds, so you're gonna hear us be hasty with our analysts of these drafts here. But we do see the Wukong getting banned away first. Any picks? What do you think that with the first pick, DCC is going to come out with first? Do you think they go with the jungle and pick up the Volibear again? What do you think that DCC does with this first pick?
I think that you just said it right there. I think that I think Volley is their knight in shining armor with this. I think that if they take that away from Paco, and realistically after that, if they just let EMV kind of draft themselves into submission, I think that they're going to be in good hands personally.
Absolutely. So getting that Volibear pick first. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the Soraka mid as DragonClaw does ban it away. The Cassiopeia coming out for EMV as well as we round out this the first phase of bans. We see the Karma here. Lame. What are you thinking when you see again more support picks coming out? That bot lane for DCC definitely almost took advantage of Villain and Glasses down there. So do you think that these support bans are playing any play in that? Do you think that Momo is just getting taken out of the game with these bans here?
I think it's all for Momo. I don't think Empress Tenebria plays any enchanters, which, I mean, might need to change your pool.
Because mid is a support role.
because mid is a support role, so definitely coming out from Momo here. Something that I did notice last game that we talked about a little bit is that DC Harnix being arguably the greatest mid laner in Conqueror, but we didn't see too much coming out of the mid lane there. We did see a few skirmishes early, but nothing too much. And maybe it's because they didn't get the scale into the late game. But do you think that they pick up an earlier game mid laner here for Harnix here?
Well, they picked Ari.
Why do I never realize the mid lane picks here?
The single best mid laner for the supposed single best mid laner in the league. It's interesting. I do want to just point out that we did see the volley get banned, so EMV really did take note of the impact that K-Pops had with the Volibear last matchup. I really thought they would kind of try and prio it, but when you're picking on the red side, they didn't really have much of an opportunity to try and first pick, right? So they did end up having to ban it.
EMV also figured out that Lissandra does counter Ari and not Vex, which I typed in trash talk earlier. I said Vex does not counter Ari. Why would you pick it? In response to, the last series I played against them, where Vex showed up, right?
Into your Ari, yes.
I picked Lissandra into Ari against them, I think, game 2 or 1.
Game 2.
Game
in
2?
The first series.
In the first series.
No,
and it was the greatest lane
series.
I think I've ever had in my life. I think I was so excited to not be on Vex and to be playing Lissandra.
We're seeing a whole lot of icy characters, though, here with the Lissandra and the Braum. The Freljord showing up tonight.
They might get a TFT buff.
That is fact. Aram? Do we just take game 2 over to the Howling Abyss? I think we might have to. Trundle, that's 3. What are we to do but play this on the ARAM style here?
They just slow on auto attacks now. I don't know what else you want.
Do they get a third summoner? Do they get the snowball?
That's a set bonus right there. Again, we do have the Nocturne, the Jack's getting banned away earlier, as well as the Zac and the Shyvana. Trundle and Darius coming out here. All right, just from right now, do you think that EMV is drafting a little bit better, in our opinion, than they did last game?
They are drafting worlds better than last game.
It doesn't really take much to draft better than last game. A Mumu.
We do have the draft closed out, so we see the Trundle in the top lane, the Amumu in the jungle, Lissandra, and a Braum Misfortune bot on the side of EMV. That's a really strong comp, I do believe.
Yeah. Amumu might be the greatest pick I think I've ever seen right here. Xayah can dodge it. Ari can dodge it. But it doesn't matter because Misfortune is just pressing R anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. We do see on the opposite side of the map, DCC pulled out a Darius top, a Fiddlesticks jungle, which I like a lot, giving them a little bit more AP. We're going to have to see EMV, see if they've learned to build a little bit better than last matchup. I'm looking at you, Villain in Glasses, with that not opting into that LDR. I don't like to see that, so we're going to have to see a little bit of itemization here. We see the Ari mid and a Rakan Xayah bot, the duo. I think we're set for a really much more interesting matchup ahead of us here.
Awesome. So we do have about 1 minute until we're gonna get into the game here. So we are seeing not too many of those hyperscaling champions that we've been seeing throughout the course of the season. So I think we might be in for a bit more skirmishes in the early game. But let's get some final thoughts here. Who do you think takes game 2? DragonClaw, Claude, EMV, and why?
What do you think, Lame?
Well, I listen. I'm a DCC fan all the way.
I think this game has a lot more opportunity to surprise than last game. I'm still in favor of the DCC. We do have that personal vendetta with EMV, in which a little bit of my soul wants to see it. But I think that they do have the chance here with the comp they just drafted. I think they really do have the opportunity. They might need I think they need to be weary, because I think the Rakan's Eye is going to pull up the Micah and Preg strat. We did talk about it a little bit. I really do hope that Misfortune and Braum play to their advantage in lane. I think that is going to be their key to success here. Is it going to be building glasses and Momo? But Momo is off of her comfort. We usually see Momo playing the enchanters, so I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm really interested. I like game 2 a lot.
Awesome. Well, let's see if the TFT bonus will be enough for EMV, or if DragonClaw Claude will come out on top and take a 2-0 lead as we get on to game 2 for Titan Esports.
And we're back onto the Rift, quick as that. Feels like we were just here a moment ago, but we had plenty of time in between for those lovely analysts to fill our ears with delights. Goose, Lame, and Young Valiant are killing it on the desk. Make sure you guys continue to hype them up in Twitch chat, because they are doing a fantastic job. DCC is also doing a fantastic job, Rhino. They are 1-up in this series in a very dominant fashion, and they're looking to make it 2-0 on the leaderboard. We got a 5-point start with Peachy taking the slightest amount of damage from Angel, and a whole heck of a lot of pings coming out on the top side of the map. In case you haven't noticed, the top pixel brush is warded.
You positive? I feel like there might be some uncertainty there. They only pinged about 50 times, so I would expect a couple more in my solo queue games before I bother to respond. But moving past that, we do see Puffalo did get his Darius this game, which has usually been out against him. It is his most played. Is running the Ghost as well, which I think is definitely the correct call for Darius. But it does mean that, you know, they are going to be forced into, they're going to be at a disadvantage with teleports as the game continues on. So are looking for that extra summoner spell to pay off in lane, hopefully, so that it isn't going to be punished, I guess, as the game continues. You see, you did start the Q. You do see Darius sometimes start the W to get the extra trade, extra auto trades in, but does have control of the wave early and is going to get the healing off of that Decimate. So, early lane is going in favor of the Darius, but not too unexpected there, and it does look like Angel and Stun Daddy are going to be looking to get early level 2 if you reach it, but no window for them to get in trades.
Villain and the PG should be able to swing this lane pretty easily, but they do need a couple levels under the belt. That Xayah is really safe here in the early couple levels, just throwing out those Qs and pushing the wave with passive, so nothing unexpected happening in this early lane so far. Empress does have the push in on Arnie, and we're going to see if the mid lane gets a bit more spicy. We've got a lot higher trade value out of both of these mid laners, double corrupting potions, double electrocutes, and I really want to see some sparks fly in the mid lane. And they should have plenty of time to do so, because we got Fiddlesticks and a Moo in the jungle right now. It's going to be a slow grind as both of these champions try and get towards that level 6 point for their massive ult.
Very, very true, yeah. They both started on the blue buffs as well, needing that extra mana to clear through. I'm interested to see, Amumu has gone Conqueror, and I'm not sure if that's standard for Amumu these days. You do see Trundle going to get traded on. He's going to get pulled back. Now going back in for another trade.
I don't know if he wins
Darius,
this.
yeah, I don't think he does. The Q, as soon as the Decimate comes out, it didn't even need it. Puffalo going to go ahead and pick up first blood in the top side. Trundle will be able to TP back, but unfortunately, Darius with an early kill is incredibly scary, and seeing what he did on Fiora last game.
Here comes the gank. They're going to try and 2v1 him.
That is true. Okay, Paco Taco's here. He's applying. He hits one bandage toss. There comes the... Oh, the apprehend misses, actually. I don't know if that would have been enough. Needed the Decimate heal if he was going to survive, but a nice gank from Paco. The Taco is going to get Data a return kill, and he can freeze this wave if he chooses to. No, he's going to push
No, that's exactly what I was going to say, is there was 4 ranged minions there. One was half HP. It wasn't a perfect freeze, but it was pretty darn close. And remember that the Darius does not have the teleport, so Data could have had that and just not been able to be removed from that situation. The Trundle would have been in a very good spot, but now Puffle doesn't feel too bad. Did give a kill over to the Trundle, but Data's not really going to have the time to spend that gold. Puffle's maybe looking for a repeat 2v1.
Yeah, here we go. Still on the top side is the Amumu. Flash and Ghost are still available for Buffalo. He's going to immediately flash Chomp to follow. The Bandage Toss is going to land. Is there a second one? He's going to get pulled in our tower. This could be bad. He's ticking, not quite going to fall. Buffalo gets out with Flash. Not able to do any more than that. And I was going to talk a little bit about the wave state. It ends up being moot. But in that situation where you've just killed your opposing top lane and he does not have teleport, there are only really 2 options with the wave. You get your jungler to help you fast push it, or you freeze it. But you can't build up a slow push, which is exactly what now they ended up killing him before you get back to turret. So that is actually an option, but usually that doesn't happen, and Darius would have been free to collect all of that CS. In the end, he is going to lose out on quite a bit of XP. You can see there's a level difference in the top side. And the rest of the map, it's a Hextech Dragon early, but Fiddlesticks continues to power clear.
Fiddlesticks, as you can see, up a bit in CS to the Amumu, but the XP actually should be in Senior Paco the Taco's favor. I'm going to check in on that real quick. Yeah, it's pretty even at the current time. Being just because of the top EXP that went over to the Amumu means he's not too far behind. I am a little bit... I think K-Peps has been generally playing these top situations fairly well, but I'm a little bit surprised he's been so... He doesn't want to blow the ghost for whatever reason, and I find it very odd. I feel like that summoner comes up, it feels like every 2 minutes for me, and it might actually be just like a 3-minute cooldown. It is so low, and I haven't seen Puffle utilize it yet, offensively or defensively, and that's a bit surprising to me. Capex is up here in the top side, but it's very doubtful that they're able to dive this jungle.
Yeah, the ultimate will be available on this wave, I believe. Yeah, he should have it very, very soon. So he will be able to clear up those minions. And he will get, and once he has that, it becomes a lot harder to tower dive him, although he just steals the Darius resistances, which doesn't matter too much, at least not yet. Although Darius has rushed, he's rushed steel caps, which I find very interesting. Normally you see Darius being more aggressive in these matchups, but clearly thinks that the ability, he loses out on the audio attack battle without getting that early defensive boots. Knockup attempted to come in from Stun Daddy, is just going to battle dance his way back out. Gets another shield. Meanwhile, Ignite has gone down under the Brawn. The Rue comes back, and Stun Daddy with the Ignite picks up that kill. I didn't expect that, and apparently neither did Peachy.
Yeah, if you're going to go that aggressive, drop the exhaust, the Feather Color's going to be there. Senior Taco's
yeah,
here.
Doesn't have ult, though. Oh, and Bandage Toss is going to miss as well. Should be very close to that level 6 mark. But hasn't reached it yet. You do see Fiddlesticks is over here. Fiddlesticks has the Crow Storm, so may look to make a play on the bot side here. Puffalo trading onto Data. Data going to go ahead and chomp some of his AD. Is going to get pulled back. The Ignite, or sorry, the Ultimate's available. Yeah, Puffalo's going to grab himself another solo kill in the top side, and he's going to be able to collect this wave as well. Does manage to get the Execute, and that is a kill top side.
Puffle really looking like he understands these breakpoints a lot. Oh, Crow Storm in the bot lane.
There we go. It goes out. Immediate silence and fear down onto Villain. He's going to go down. Paco the Taco's here. Does have the ultimate this time. He's charmed up. There comes the bandage. And they are going to be able to finish off Stun Daddy. Now, Fiddlesticks is going to get stunned up by the Brawn passive. But Angel's here. Flash forward with the Feather Pull. Paco Taco is going to go down. But Peachy just has to run for the hills. 2 for 1 in the bot side as the junglers make their first appearance.
Okay, Peps was sitting in those bottom brushes for so long, and the patience is rewarded. A kill and assist off the first ultimate is definitely what DCC wanted to do. And I really am starting to worry for EMB here in this series. Empress is getting a good trade. Okay, I was waiting to see if the Frozen Tomb came out, but... Oh, Angel, you're just dead.
Yep, no Feather Storm available. The auto's going to come in. Instant Cleanse. Not sure if that was necessary. They're going to try to give it to Misfortune. Throws down the bullet time because she can, I suppose. And they do get a kill over. So that is nice for the bot lane. You see this Misfortune is even in CS as well. Is going to pick up the cannon. So now we have to see what happens in the next big team fight. Trundle is out farming, but does... Oh, there's a huge wave down here for Buffalo to pick up, so won't be that way for long.
Not going to be that way for long whatsoever. The Darius, a bit squelched on the CS due to the amount of time that Senior Paco the Taco stood up in that top lane, but he is doing alright in the 1v1s. It feels like Data just feels a little awkward in this matchup, and hopefully Trundle's able to regain their feet going forward.
There we go, Frozen Tomb, but there's no Ignite available. Is going to force the flash from Harnix. Flash forward into the Q, into the auto, and Empress Tenebria grabs a solo kill on the mid side. Lysandra does indeed counter the R8.
Oh, they know K-Peps is here too.
Yeah, they do. Nice Vision is going to come through and see him. Braum is here as well. K-Peps is going to look for a way out. He probably is going to try to use the Crow Storm over the wall. It's not quite ready yet. Trundle's coming down too. They want to give him something. Flash available right into the Amumu bandage toss. Trundle grabs himself an assist with the pillar, and it's another kill on the jungler.
Oh, what a tragic flash out of K-Peps there, wanting to get away, but didn't have the read on the jungler. Felt like When you're taking the enemy jungle Raptors, says I don't have time to say this. It's going to be a 2v3 in the bot
Flash
lane.
is going to be forced out. No bullet time available. Remember, Villain used it to pick up the kill. Here comes the charm. They're going to immediately knock up the My Name is Angel. Is going to go down. No flash available. Doesn't get the feather pull. Meanwhile, Peachy's here to try to chase down, and Lysandra's coming down as well. But I think with no ultimates available, they are just going to peel over to the Dragon, and they know that Ari can look topside, so Data's going to have to be careful there.
Harnix could look top, but at the same time, Crowstorm is very, very impactful. They might look for the 2v4, and it's a bit scary, but honestly, they might have the ability to.
Charm's going to land, but Ari's going to get rooted up in response. Does kill the Misfortune. Is it going to be enough? The Crowstorm comes in. That's really huge. Emperor Scenario is going to go down immediately. Peachy is in trouble. Here come the resets for Harnix. Is going to grab another kill. There's another reset. Paco gets charmed before he hits the push. You got to hit the Vast Plant, but he doesn't even go for it. A triple kill. A 4-for-0 as all of a sudden DragonClaw explodes in a 2v4.
It was a 2v4, but there weren't any ultimates. Villain and Glasses and Empress both had their ultimates coming up when the fight already lost by that point. K-Peps had the Crowstorm and Harnix had the Spirit Rush. It was very much a situation of the manpower didn't matter when they didn't have the resources. Good news for them is they did manage to secure the Dragon Hextech in their pocket. Ocean next up, but EMV just lost a big chunk of gold, and we're going to see if that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, because now K-Peps is unleashed. He's rocketing towards that early mythic. He has 6 stacks on the Dark Seal, and you have to watch this Fiddlesticks, because once that Crowstorm is up, I have to imagine someone on EMV is going down.
Vision is going to be incredibly important as it is in Fiddlesticks games. He has a lot of different areas where he wants to look to try to get that Crowstorm in. You can see they've got Vision down in the bot side right now, looking to maybe creep into the AD carry. But as the game goes on, things like Raptor Pit, things like little walls within the river are going to be really, really important that Vision is kept for EMD if they want to make this happen. That's a charm. Is not quite going to pull him under tower range. Everfrost in response gets the root. And here comes the Crowstorm. They don't know he's there. Oh, he chooses not to go for it. He's just going to get the fear. Villain and Glass is going to fall immediately. Peachy going to flash away. Does use the ultimate just in case. It is just going to be the one. Oh, and Crowstorm wasn't quite off a cooldown, I see. There's just a few more seconds left on that. But they do pick up the AD carry. They are going to grab themselves at least another plate or two to see how much they can get. Meanwhile, Mumu is going to run into Darius over on the Rift Herald. They're going to try to get on top of him here. The ultimate's already come down, but the healing that can come out of Puffalo is huge. Doesn't have the time to get it down, though. Paco picks it up with the final auto attack. Curse of the Sad Mummy used, and they clean up the Darius and get themselves the Rift Herald.
Really don't like Puffle starting that fight as Honey.
The ultimate's available. Is going to get some healing off of this, but another Spirit Rush charge available along with a W, and the final auto attack cleans up. Harnix pays Empress back for the solo kill earlier, picking up one of their own.
Really nice. Full time to keep them there, I guess. It was Angel was really just pushed away, but Villain was having none of it. Now K-Peps is back bot with the Crowstorm, rather.
Now, he's not in a fantastic position. It's kind of hard to ult over the wall from that bush unless they step up awkwardly. We'll have to keep our eyes out. And Mumu is down here. Vision control is very, very strong. Lots of pinks in place. So really nice out of DragonClaw, understanding how their jungler needs to play the game in order to have the highest impact. But so far, it's just kind of... there's been some action, a couple of solo kills in the mid lane. But overall, it's about a 2,000 gold lead sitting here for DragonClaw, with towers able to fall around the map, and Rift Herald and Dragons kind of being the next big objectives.
There's a lot of standing gold on the map. These towers are getting oh so low now that we've ticked over to the 14-minute mark. You can see Data has a big chunk out of that top lane tower. Meanwhile, Angel and Stun Daddy have nearly toppled the tower here in bot lane. So first brick is up on the table and are ready to be taken at a moment's notice. And it really does feel like if you suddenly win 2 fights on the map, you can explode the gold lead one way or the other. So while DCC currently sits comfortably with a 2,000 gold lead, it's not over in the slightest. Stun Daddy gonna find out Empress here in the rivers. He's setting up for the dragon spawning in 45 seconds.
That is going to be the key, and I think most of your gold, if you're DragonClaw right now, Buffalo may be looking for a solo kill on the top side. Amumu's not over here though, not yet. They are gonna, Peachy's gonna try to go in and get some vision down. It's really going to, I mean, K-Peps has a lot of the gold right now for DragonClaw. If he doesn't get a good Crow Storm, then it's definitely possible for EMV to win a fight. You can see, wow! That was very surprising. You use Bullet Storm right before your team is planning, and maybe they're planning to give the dragon anyway.
I was gonna say,
but
with Senior Pocket the taco up and top side, they're gonna try a dive.
Ooh, Bandage Toss doesn't land. There's another one though. We'll see. Crowstorm's gonna go over as they predict the movement of Lysandra. Is able to ult herself with the Frozen Tomb. But Flash is available. Doesn't matter. Gonna get locked down. Brom's here to try to help. The heal comes out, but Harnix is going to go on a killing spree. Maybe in trouble though. Another Spirit Rush to get over the wall. Flash forward. Peachy's gonna go down. Another one to follow. Then the Charm onto Villain, and it's just clean up Crew City. A double kill for the Fiddlesticks, 3 overall, and DragonClaw going to pick themselves up a dragon to boot. Buffalo may be in trouble here, is going to get rooted by the Curse of Sad Mum. Yeah, he definitely goes down, and so he probably should have played a little bit safer, but still, his team winning in other objectives around the map.
Yeah, and you know, take a slice of reality cake here, because I do think we were both impressed with Buffalo rather in game 1 being able to play that split push. Feels like this game is the same but different, where it feels like Buffalo's doing the same things. It feels like he's stepping up in these 1v1s, but his team is just winning on the other side of the map, and he doesn't really know what to do when he's not crushing the 1v1. So a little bit rougher. Data has no mana, and I think Carney's just going to walk him out.
Yeah, Spirit Rush should be up in a second, but has enough mana to finish the kill. Harnix, all of a sudden 4-1-5, very pivotal in the last team fight. And the extra mobility that comes out of this Ahri just makes it so much more difficult. The analyst desk even talked about it. They've been really spot on so far. They talked about how it can be difficult for like Amumu to kind of lock down. Now she has the ultimate, but she's been forced to use it on herself in team fights. And that just means you're not getting the single target lockdown that Lysandra can provide.
Yeah, for sure. A whiles away from that Zonia's, if you ever go for that. Kind of allows the Frozen Tomb to be used more offensively, but feels the need to grab healing reduction here away from, you know, Rakan brings a little bit, Ahri somewhat. Fiddlesticks and Darius both known for a bit of healing, so wants to cut that somewhat, but it has delayed the build here. And now you can see DCC really want to start taking objectives. 2 towers fell in the bot lane due to that last scuffle. Mid and top, both very low outer tier 1s. We've got a long game to go, and it's going to be Cloud Soul, so DCC, you're going to see they're really going to start shifting their attention now that they know it is Cloud Rift. You can see instantly they're onto the top side of the map. They want this Herald in their pocket. They're probably going to save it for a tier 2 push, if I had to guess, because dropping it on a tier 1 when you were 4.5k gold ahead seems like a bit of a waste. Good ward by Peachy.
Oh, here comes the Crowstorm over the wall, but he doesn't actually get the fear as they got to see him, so the passive didn't get procced. Immediate teleport coming through from the Trundle may get pulled. It does in fact get pulled by the Darius. That is going to get canceled. Empress Tenebria now in a 1v1 as the Soul Laners are fighting. Buffalo is not winning this at the moment though. The extra healing coming through, and he heals through the guillotine. Doesn't matter, Noxian or not, Darius will fall, and that will be a solo kill over to Data, who got his teleport interrupted.
All I'm learning from this week of semifinals, find Sunder busted item. We have watched Data run into this chopping mill of the Darius plenty of times and just did not have the DPS or the healing to deal with it. Now the Sunder has been built, and that, along with the Subjugate, has been enough to win straight 1v1s.
Oh, Engage comes in, does get 2 with the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and they're trying to get on top of Angel. Angel getting healed, though, is so close to going down, is going to fall, but Peachy has to trade his life in response. Here comes Herons, though. He wants more, has a lot of damage on this Ahri. Spirit rushes backwards, has 1 more charge. Can he get another kill with it to get the reset? Charm's going to land onto the Amumu, but the Amumu is very tanky. Not able to finish that off. Harnix will be forced to back away. It is a 1-for-1 in the end.
able to get that kill. In return, onto the support. Feels a little bit rough for your AD carry going down, but Angel did not have the ultimate. K-Peps. Crowstorm is
another
in.
Crowstorm. He's going to get the fear off this time, and godlike goes the Fiddlesticks. Senor Paco forced to run for the hills. He's attempting to escape. Harnix moving forward. No ultimate, remember. Flashes. Doesn't even get the slow. Oh, fancy feet from Paco the Taco. He's going to use the Q over on the wall, and the Baron will finish him off. K-Peps goes legendary at 9 kills, and with the jungler dead, and 20 minutes into the game, you better believe that's a Baron call.
Oh my goodness, DragonClaw Cloud, you were winning so handily. I really think you need to pay off the Baron to be your 6th member, but they're going to enlist his help to take down the enemy jungle. They're going to enlist his help to push down these lanes. And Herald is still in Buffalo's pocket. They've got a Herald Baron combo coming right onto the map here at 21 minutes. We're going to see some towers fall. We're going to see this gold lead explode, and it's already at 7,000.
EMV's done a nice job, I will, to their credit. They pushed out their waves really nicely, so that it is going to take some extra time to get those into position. But yes, I do agree. This is going to be a big gold swing with so much standing gold on the map. 2 tier 2s still available for DragonClaw to take as well, and a dragon coming up in 15 seconds. Now, they may waste some of their Baron times. Data might be greeding a little bit for the Krugs here. Ari's here as well. If he can get the pillar in a nice position, looks like he was able to do so, and he's going to walk out. It looks like they're looking to 5v5 now. There's no minion push right now for EMD. They're going to have to be very, very careful. And it looks like they are just going to give this. It is only the 2nd dragon. It's a single cloud. I have no problems with that. I think it's the correct call. Herrings, once again, Paco the Taco putting on his dancing shoes, but is just going to be to get him out. And they are going to drop the Rift Herald in the bot side. So they're going to look to break open an inhibitor there. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, or at least the AD carry, is pushing in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit not a fan of going for dragons like this when they feel very pointless. You waste some time on your Baron buff, the enemy team gets to push some waves out. It's not the most effective thing you can do with your time. Good charm lands. Damage out of this. Ari with the Horizon Focus second is really playing around these charms, landing them onto CC targets. See, this bottom inhibitor tower is already going to go down. You've got 2 members pushing in with the Baron buff in mid lane. They got to be careful not to get engaged on.
Empress is going to go and use the Frozen Tomb on themselves. Does have the E, flashes away. Meanwhile, re-engaged from Cinder Pocket, but he's alone. The Crowstorm in over the team. Empress goes down, a double knockup with the Battle Dance. PG is going to fall along with his AD carry as the dashes continue to come forward for the Ari. The first pick coming in huge, and with 4 kills down, that is going to be this game at 23 minutes. DragonClaw has put themselves on the verge of completing this best of 5. Yes, the Trundle is pushing in the bot side of the map, but it just doesn't matter as the Nexus falls and DragonClaw goes up 2-0.
That is one way to end a game. I really didn't think it was going to end just like that, but you saw how unbelievably fed K-Peps is. Ults over the wall, doesn't hit anybody, walks forward for like 2 seconds and then flashes just for damage. Sits there, presses W until he's almost dead, and Zhonya's. That's a team fight. Like, he didn't have to do anything. That is the most ham-fisted Fiddlesticks team fight I've ever seen, and it was an absolute 5-for-0 slaughter. Like, 4-for-0 rather, as Data was pushing. It doesn't get easier than that for DCC.
25 stack Magi's. He literally had free reign to simply farm to 6 as much as he wanted to. His team had nice vision control. He was able to get in a couple of nice ults bot side with the fears. And then from there, yeah, Fiddlesticks has really good objective control because of the healing that comes in from his kit. And an even cleaner game too, which I thought was pretty impressive because I felt like the team comp wasn't quite as synergistic perhaps as the first game for statistics were all you need.
Sems, you're gonna need to give me a real good reason for doubting K-Peps, because every time you tell me this man isn't gonna show up, he smurfs it on stream. He's got the stage buff or something. He's killing it. DCC are killing it. We're gonna be back with the analyst desk to break down how they've gotten to a 2-0 over EMV in just 1 minute.
All right, we are back with Goose, Young Valiant, and Lame on the Analyst Test here as we just wrapped up Game 2 of DragonClaw Cloud versus Erinyes Malevolent Vendetta. So again, the game went in favor of DragonClaw Claude on this one. However, it did look like there were a bit of a struggle for them in the early game. It seemed like the teams were on even playing fields earlier on in this matchup, and I'm wondering, Young Valiant, what do you think that Aaron Malevolent Vendetta changed up so that they could kind of keep pace in the first 10 minutes of the game?
The change up really, like, what really pushed DCC over EMV here is really all in the hands of a certain Scarecrow, man. That Fiddlesticks was really putting the pressure anywhere it was needed. He had some absolutely magnificent ganks in the bot lane I saw. I believe there was that one really, really nice lane gank from the alcove in the bot lane that really, really seemed to be the nail in the coffin on an already rough bot lane for EMV. I said in the draft that EMV really needed to play to their strength, and that was going to be in the Misfortune and the Braum. When I as a support main, when I see a Misfortune in the opposite side of me, I know that that's one of the biggest lane bullies in the game. And I know Villain in Glasses, he really needed to play to that strength, and he really needed to be the bully in that lane. And he just couldn't get that done. And a lot of that is due to the pressure that Fiddlesticks managed to pull out.
So you think, I've definitely that Fiddlesticks really showed up and showed out K-Peps on the fiddles. But you did bring up kind of the MF was what they needed to really shine in this game. And I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on the MF gameplay? We did see the Gale Force and the Collector come out. I know Chad had a few mixed emotions about the build, but do you think that the Misfortune pick was a smart choice here?
Lame, do you want to comment?
Oh, me? That? Oh, shit, my bad. All right, so the build is so grief. It's just the worst. If you're going PTA, you're going for a lot of attack speed, you're not going to deal with lethality at all, right? You want to do as much damage as you can with your auto attacks and your crits. You don't want Collector. Although it's good, you should have gone Dark Harvest or King Comet, gone with lethality, because it's hard for them to build armor. What you should be doing is you should be going Mythic, preferably like Kraken. There's no real reason to go Gale Force. Maybe Shield Bow. You want to do that, and then you want to go into LDR IE. That is your highest damage output on auto attacks on every single champion in the game, besides like maybe one or two champs. It's hard for them to build armor. You should just be going lethality, which then you can go Eclipse, Collector, Cyrildas, or LDR. It doesn't matter. That's not really the problem, right? The build sucked, but he also played pretty poorly. The MF gameplay was really sad. It was like watching... I don't know what it would be like watching. It's like watching Guo try to handle us drafting, right?
Oh God, Guo making his rounds back again. I feel like you guys. I think off screen, Young Valiant had almost an idea into the mind of the MF, right? What was the execution strategy? If you want to share that with the rest of the.
So what I kind of hypothesized here was that the MF was taking the single worst item in the game, which is the Collector, right? Because it does about an auto attack damage worth of execute, right? So we all know the Collector proc is the big niche about it, right? But to combo that with the Gale Force, when we look at it, it looks like she's fragmenting two completely builds that are anti-synergy. But I think when I'm looking into the mind of the MV ADC here, what I'm seeing is an execution strategy. You know, she wants to go to put the kids to the gallows, right, and just absolutely execute. Because whereas with just the Collector, you do an auto and you get about 50 damage worth of execute damage. With the addition of the Gale Force, which also the active scales off of missing health, right? So now instead of executing for 50 health, we're executing for about 75. So I think that might have been the strategy there coming from Villain in Glasses. One other thing I wanted to bring up to you guys that we saw was the repeated overstaying after the fights. What did you think about that, Goose? When we would see there were several instances on both sides, even coming from DCC. It surprised me. Whereas I used to coach Overwatch, and the saying I would say is that they were staggering themselves, quite like a bronze Overwatch lobby. What did you think about that? Because we saw several times the overstaying leading to return kills when they could have simply backed and made the purchases.
I think that just shows the hunger of each team. I think each team understands that neither team is going to scale into the late game, so those early advantages are going to matter a little bit more, and they kind of want to squeeze every little bit of juice out of what they can get from when they do get a small advantage. Like you said, it didn't really pay off too well. I mean, it may have been smarter just to kind of back off and collect your eggs while you had them. I also want to, as I'm throwing out random metaphors here, I want to say that I love your metaphors out here. I have no idea what it means to throw the kids to the gallows, but it sounds provocative. It sounds like it gets the people going. But yeah, I think that's just the hunger coming out. I think they understand what's on the line. They've played an entire season in the Conqueror League, and they really want this. Both teams here. But yeah, I think kind of just the overstays weren't exactly there, but I understand and I empathize with why they would want to do that. I do want to kind of take it away from the misfortune here, and kind of the mistakes here. And let's really talk about what the highlight of this game was, right? K-Peps on the fiddlesticks. He literally took over the game, single-handedly winning fights, as the casters kind of mentioned towards the end there. Lame. What was it that really just put the fiddle pick over the edge, right? It's already spicy coming into the last pick lane. What's like your opinion on how the fiddle played the game? Was it K-Peps? Is it the champion that happened? What was the cause of the success here?
Well, I think Fiddlesticks is the most broken jungler in the game, right? The only counterplay is it plays vision. Any sort of wards anywhere in the jungle where Fiddle might just be standing there and ulting. They didn't do that at all. Not a single person, like, there were, I think, 4 fights I noticed where Fiddlesticks just pressed on to 4 people and everybody was feared. Nothing could happen. I hate Fiddle.
that sounded a little personal there. At the end, it sounds like there may be some negative experiences there. For the fiddle. What about you, Valiant? Was it K-Peps on there? It sounds like it may have been a little bit of EMV error that allowed him to get so far ahead. He ended the game with 25 Magi stacks, and I believe he was 11-1, only falling once he got caught at the chickens there, which was again in that early signs of life from EMV. But what do you think about the fiddlesticks, young Valiant? Was it K-Peps or?
I have nothing but good things to say about K-Peps, honest to goodness. I'm going to take a slightly different school of thought than my teammate Lame and say that I think that K-Peps could win a game on spectator jungle. Honestly, this kid is brilliant. I think you could put this kid on anything, and I think he's going to pull up some success. I would take that guy as a Tarek jungle. I would take him on my team as that. He was just absolutely stunning. The one play that I saw from him that really made me realize that this guy, if it were up to me, he's a leading candidate for MVP. Was the fight he absolutely swung 100% like on his own in the bottom river, where he pulled out a triple kill after they went down a player, and he said no, and he ulted into, I believe, the MF, the support, and the jungler. And he absolutely just swung it there. I'm starting to think that there's nothing that K-Peps can't do, and I'm really interested to see where he goes from here. I'd like to see him pull out something real wacky for the last of it. I'm thinking it's all K-Peps. I don't think it has anything to do with the champion. I think this guy could win the game with $4.50 in the bank account. I think he is just wonderful. Honestly, I'm becoming a big K-Peps fan this series.
Awesome. K-Peps not only getting a lot of love on the analyst test, but as well as in chat. I do want to point out before we get into the draft shortly in a minute, just a few signs that I saw from EMV, right? We did see a few couple solo kills coming out early for Empress Tenebria, showing some life on the Lysandra, as well as that early team coordination to catch out the fiddles right shortly after. Also, I want to point out that we are identifying a bit of a little different in the Jiffy right now, a little jungle diff. However, Paco the Taco really is kind of doing his all. He did kind of follow the advice that I believe Lame mentioned in the early game of kind of straying away from top lane and helping out the rest, getting those ganks in the bot lane, getting that kill on the fiddlesticks and being in the mid lane when he needed to be, as well as the engages there. Do you think that if they put the jungler, all right, actually, I think we're going to hop into draft, so I'm going to save that thought. Give us a second as we get into ready with the draft for game 3 of DragonClaw Cloud versus Erinyes Malevolent Vendetta. All right. We're getting draft underway here for game 3 of DragonClaw Cloud versus Erinyes Malevolent Vendetta. The series is currently 2-0 in favor of DragonClaw Cloud. Do you think that Erinyes Malevolent can bring this back? And if so, what kind of picks do we want to see here coming out for them? Young Valiant, what do you think? What kind of picks do you want to see coming out of EMV here to maybe bring back and keep the series alive?
I have simply one pick in my noggin. It's not a very strong noggin. My brain is not all that great, but I have one singular pick that can come out from the side of EMV that can sway the tides, and it may get banned, and that is the Volley Bear. And I'm really, really desperately hoping for EMV's sake that it goes through, because I think that if they get Paco on that Volley Bear, I think that's where the magic can come from.
Absolutely. I feel like the Volley Bear has kind of been like that pick or ban kind of contested pick for both junglers here. However, we do have DragonClaw Cloud on blue side here, so they might be able to pick that up first. We have the Wukong getting banned away, the Soraka. It looks like they're not changing it much for DCC. The Xerath and the Cassiopeia coming out in terms of EMV. Lame. What do you think about the Volley Bear pick? Do you think it comes through here? And if so, do you think that it'll be enough to pull EMV over the edge to take a game off of DCC?
I think, and it's not going to happen, but they have to M-Preg, right? They need, because the bottom half of the map, mid-bottom support, has shown that they can't really do anything. I mean, Daida last game didn't look too hot on Trundle, but I think Paco needs to be on a carry. He needs to get some sort of like something crazy, some crazy bruiser like Olaf. I think is actually pretty good in the Volley Bear. You can pick Olaf. You can pick your Enchanter mid because mid can't do anything, and then you pick your Enchanter support because why would you put that support on anything else? I mean, we just saw the Braum. That was a bit rough. You take double Enchanter. You give it to Olaf. Maybe we'll finally see a Paco jungle gap. I mean, come on. And there's Seraphine. We're close.
We're halfway to the double enchant.
Absolutely. That could go mid or support. However, we do see a slightly safer bot lane coming out of EMV with the Varus and the Seraphine, giving them a little bit more range. You do have a bit more CC tools with the ultimate and the E-slow on that. So we might see a little bit of safety, but we see the Blitzcrank coming out immediately after to that immobile bot lane. What do you think about the Blitzcrank, Valiant? Do you think it's a spicy pick here? Do you think it doesn't make sense?
I'm going to tell you one thing, and it's going to be, it may surprise you, but as Lame will tell you, I'm a fan of the Seraphine character. I love the character. It's one of my most played in the support role. And I'll tell you what, it says on u.gg, I'm telling you, because that's where 90% of the people are pulling builds from. It says u.gg. Blitzcrank she probably has a 45% win rate into the old crank right now. I'm telling you, despite that, I love the matchup. Just personally speaking, I love playing Seraphine in the Blitzcrank.
So
he misses the hook.
And probability aside, you're going with the Seraphine.
Here's the thing. We need to completely disregard u.gg. The stat flawed. Here's the thing. Because here's the thing. You could smurf. You could smurf on Blitzcrank. You can smurf on Seraphine. And I think that Seraphine is right back into Momo Adechi's wheelhouse. I think we needed to see Momo back on the enchants. It didn't go so hot in the first game. They're double banning her on her 2 comfort picks, but I don't think that taking it to the Braum was the answer. I think that we needed to see in my opinion, the single best anti-heal applying character in the game, and that's Seraphine. You look into a Volibear. What does Volibear want to do? He wants to get in there. He wants to beat on you for a long time. Look at Fiora. She wants to get in there. She wants to beat on you. She wants to regen her health. You're hitting. Guess what? It's like you're tickling. You're shooting a Nerf gun at these guys because their health is going up so fast. Seraphine, she rushes the Chemtech Putrefier. Guess what? Her whole team 60% anti-heal. Guess what? Volibear, he doesn't look so scary. Fiora, she's not so tanky. I think that Seraphine, despite what u.gg is saying, is going to be a good pick here. We need to all get away from u.gg and we need to look at the game. It is individual.
Awesome. So you think that the Seraphine is going to be enough to pull, or at least possibly pull EMV back in here with the ability, and like despite the 44% win rate into the Blitzcrank, right? We're smurfing here. Just to round out the rest of the draft, we do have the Tristan and the Corki coming in. We have the Kassadin and the Fiora coming in with DragonClaw as they ban away the Nocturne and the Trundle, and then EMV is going to pick up the Kayn in the set, as well as that Corki in the mid lane most likely, and then they're going to ban out with their last phase, the Poppy and the Darius. We have a little bit of time here before we get onto the Rift, so let's look at the draft holistically here, and we'll go to you, Lame, first. We're looking at the Volibear. We got the Blitzcrank. We got the Tristana. We have the scaling of the Kassadin and the Fioris returning from game 1. Do you think that DCC pulls out the clean sweep here, or do you think that EMV have enough tools in their wheelhouse to really pull back one and keep this series alive?
I think DCC pulls out the clean sweep, but I don't think Kassadin is enjoying that clean sweep. I think he's hating his life. He's sitting there. He's crying. He hates every part of it because everybody's scaling is off the tempo of Kassadin. And he can't do anything against 3 AD. Imagine, though, if Corki was any other enchanter. It's just so free. Like, that Kayn can never die. And then Kassadin hates his life even more because he can't kill an enchanter. She's just gonna use an ability and run away.
We are loving the enchanter mid, the mid. We might have to take some notes in Divinity next Monday at 8 p.m. However, how about you? We're going to pass it before we get into the draft, before we get into the game here. Some quick final thoughts about the draft, Valiant. Do you think DCC pulls off the clean sweep, or do we see a reverse sweep? Just getting started for EMV here.
I'll tell you what. I do have to agree with my boy Lame here. I do think that DCC pulls off the sweep, but I'm going to tell you my hot take, okay? Here's the thing. EMV can pull off a victory, and I'll tell you why. It's because of that scaling differential that my good friend Lane spoke of. Kassadin is going to have trouble. Of course, Corki is going to be that mid to late game powerhouse. Kassadin, if he can hit that 16, the game changes entirely. But I think up until that point, we really do have a Corki differential on our hands. And similarly, but here's the thing. It's really gonna test the macro and map awareness of EMV if they want to make that mid game count, because like I said, where they do have that mid game damage advantage, what we do have on the side of DCC is 2 split push phenoms. Fiora and Kassadin both want a side lane. They both want to just absolutely pressure the Tukus right off of EMV. They want to soak up as much solo XP as they can. They want to take those side turrets. They want their team to play safe and put pressure where they can in the mid lane during that. Imagine this. You have Fiora, you have Kassadin on either side. What do you do? I don't know. I don't have the answer. But hopefully EMV does. That's all I can say. I think it could go either way, but I'm heavily leaning on DCC. We've seen nothing but domination from them. I'm saying each team has the tools to take it away. I'm just more confident that we got Bob the Builder on DCC. They know how to use the tools.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to quite possibly the last game of the series. DCC find themselves on match point, and they have a Blitzcrank, and they're looking for... okay, no flash. Come on, Stun Daddy. Flash for flash that every time. Wants to save it for the lane, but it's not... the lanes have been going well, so I can't really blame them. You want to get that prowess up. Rhino, I'm stuck. And EMV is stuck too. They're stuck right now, down, looking at 0-2 in the series, and it's a very hard ask for them to pull this out. I do agree with the casters. I think their drafting has continuously gotten better over the series of this, the series of these games. You know what? I'm done. I'm done talking. I'm done. I'm gonna take a drink of water, and you can just stay words, because words aren't happening right now.
Solo cast for game 3. I told you I'd kill you if you let this happen. We do see the general 5-point after the invade came through. Some early vision. They're going to try to track this Kayn. And they're going to know that Volibear's starting on his red. Kayn can solo start on the Raptors, which is really interesting, as you do see that Empress is trying to get early trades. I don't think he wins this, though. The W still available. Sorry, with the Q, the extra magic damage shield coming through for Arnie. Arnyes, I apologize. It's a French word, and I found out during the break that I've been pronouncing it wrong, and now all I can think of is wrong ways to pronounce it. So I might have to go back to Arnyes.
All we know is the H is silent, and it's French, and that's what we're going off of for this last.
Arnyes.
It's
Something like that. I don't know. No hooks have been thrown out, so there have been no deaths. Now, I will say for this bot lane, it's very interesting. This is possibly the longest range duo that you can have in bot lane, because Varus can do that. And then you have Seraphine, who's also incredibly long range. So they're just going to try to not interact. There's a face breaker. He gets some damage down, flash forward. He saved it. He gets the hook onto the Varus exhaust. Immediately goes down on the AD carry. Jump in, though. And it's a Tristana level 2. He's going to get the kill with the rocket jump splash. Meanwhile, Buffalo heavy winning a trade on the top side. In the end, both laners running Conqueror. And it is not, in fact, oh, sorry, it is going to be first blood. As the Volibear shows up behind Empress here. No. Isn't going to shoot the flash. There's the Valkyrie. Arnyes only level 2. So he wants to get forward. They are just going to burn the flash. And that will be all. So, a quick kill and some early laning advantages. Going over to COC. Sorry, not COC. DCC. Words. Why are words a problem all of a sudden? It's everybody. We've used too many.
We used too many, and suddenly, and honestly, not enough, because it definitely feels like DCC have not had to do much in this series. We can see 3.5 minutes into game number 1, Buffalo has blown a flash by themselves, 2v2 kill in the bot lane, and return gank out of K-Peps trying to punish the teleport. Not gonna be able to have success this time. Arnyes still looking for that recall. First one of the game. Probably going to have to match teleport to get back into lane. Check the gold. Sitting on 700 right now, so probably wants just a little bit more than a tier boots base.
Yes, indeed. Continues to get his back canceled by Empress, which is nice to see. Kind of make anytime you can make headaches for your opposing laner, it's always useful. No health potions left for this Kassadin, so he's kind of going to be chucking through his mana. Wants to go back and get that tier as early as possible as well, I assume. Root barely going to miss from Seraphine. Throws out that E, not able to land it. And honestly, like we have like very spotty action so far, but I wouldn't count out more from showing up as these laners continue to be aggressive. Top and mid in particular seem pretty volatile. And Kane continues to hard clear. He is quite ahead in the CS department so far.
K-Peps taking those 2 quick jumps towards mid has put him back a little bit of farm, and Senor Paco the Taco not been taking that route. So really sticking to the jungle, wanting to grab as many camps as possible, but we will need to see the Kane get involved at some point in time. Did take the Conqueror as well, so you're looking at melee champions, so it's a lot of top skirmishing for this Kane. Could still find a nice gank on Tristana post 6. Something to note is top and bot have a lot of setup for the Kane once they reach those level 6 points. Anye finding a good trade in the mid lane.
Meanwhile, like you were talking about, Riposte is going to come out. Maker's going to go down, but not a whole lot of damage. And
no,
here, I don't know if they're going to
K-Peps is down a level. This is a really hard make work, and K-Peps realizes it at the same time I do. Buffalo
going to take quite a bit of damage in that Q. Here comes the good dodge from Villain, and Glass is able to sidestep the hook in the bot lane. Buffalo stepping forward, trying to get an aggressive trade with the lunge. Which is totally fine there. He took a face breaker in response. Here comes the Valkyrie. W not quite going to land from the Kane. Not able to get that poke damage out. He is looking, I assume, at these lanes right now just to try to get his form up. With there being several melee laners, I feel like it's a pretty easy spot to be in. As Rift Walk has been picked up by the Kassadin. So this is the point where he actually has a little bit more kill threat. He is still up in CS. Against a ranged opponent here, and he is going to go in, get a little bit of poke down, and back out, but I do start to worry about... yeah, there's the flash forward into the Rift Walk, gets the reset, the extra mana coming through from Presence of Mind, is going to walk himself out. So another kill goes over. K-Pap's able to pick himself up another dragon. He's had complete stranglehold of that objective over the course of the series. And things are continuing to look good for a 3-0.
You know, our analyst desk has been absolutely popping off and calling a lot of things right now. And I, honestly, I'm inclined to believe them. I'm inclined to believe that Kassadin really should hate his life into this composition. I mean, it only makes sense on paper, but Erinyes has ripped up that paper and thrown it out the window because the Kassadin being up CS and finding a solo kill at level 6, 7 minutes into this game, the Kassadin is already finding individual, well, I shouldn't say individual advantages, did get 2 ganks over there, so already blew the Corki's flash. A very helping hand from K-Peps, but even with those ganks, the Kassadin being this far accelerated is just ridiculous.
He went electrocute too. I mean, he did have the Doran's shield, and so I mean, if he had started tier and gone electrocute, that's about the most disrespect I think a Kassadin could possibly have at the beginning of a game.
You could take no flash.
He could take no flash. He could go, I guess he could go teleporting knight.
You got options.
But it's starting out strong. He gets himself a solo kill early. He's going to be found right now. Push is coming in for the set and the top side. Corki's here. We'll see. I don't know what Puffalo should have known. He does have lunge to get over the wall. He's going to be smited, but there's the follow. He's going to go take the blast cone, but that might not be enough. Repose doesn't come out on ACC, and flash is forced. They can still dive this, though. Hook is going to land onto the Seraphine. That might be a kill. Exhaust is out. Is it enough damage? Yes, it is. And Angel's going to jump immediately back out as the bot lane for DragonClaw wins. Once again, flash forward. Yeah, K-Pap's really, once this Tenebri is going to force to flash away, and they do get the kill onto Puffalo in response. Now Taka forced to run away, but Harnix is here. He has mana. He has the Rift Walk. And it's only a matter of time before he picks up a double. Here comes a showstopper. Set once in, apparently, is going to pull over the wall. I've never seen that interaction before. But Harnix is forced to go over. Doesn't matter as the healing comes out.
Another pull.
Yeah, they get another kill as the bot lane kills yet another set of players. And I believe that is all 5 members. Even though the backs are spread out, I believe all 5 members went down over the last minute.
It's an unofficial ace at 9 minutes into the game. The Brazil score up on the screen, 7-1. DCC are really making a statement here in game number 3. I mean, it's been a dominant series thus far, but taking this Kassadin and winning early game and taking this Blitzcrank, it's domination. Isn't a strong enough word. It's an absolute beatdown, and it's being helmed by individuals mostly. It's we haven't even gotten to the point, and trust me, the point comes where DCC turns into a fantastic team. Right now, it's just individuals smacking their opposition.
It is indeed. And you mentioned one D word. I can think of another one that you've used previously that might be useful in this situation, and that word is doomed. And it feels really bad to say that about a game pre-10 minutes, but here we are as Kassadin goes in, gets the Everfrost, and I think Tenebri just dies here. They're forced to use the Seraphine ultimate just to peel him off, and Erinyes is going to Rift Block away instead of in, but now you have here comes
Angel.
the flash forward. He is going to get rooted for it, and the Varus is nearby.
Oh, no, Angel.
Just goes in. It's a little bit confident he is going to get punished for it, but they do pick up the Seraphine in response. So, still a 2-0. And Puffalo, obviously, just being able to pretty easily parry the damage coming out from the Haymaker does make this matchup pretty easy for him. And there's the Grand Challenge issued immediate flash from Data. Understands how dangerous that can be when he doesn't have the Showmaker in response. So
you're the top laner of the two of us right now. I do want to ask. Let's say we're Chinese super server 9 ping, 3 ping, whatever. The set versus Fiora matchup, do you think the parry should be coming out on the face breaker, or is it better to save it for the Haymaker? What's more impactful, the stun or the massive damage that comes out of the set W?
I would say the stun is really important. The thing with Fiora is it doesn't take too long before you can just use your Q to get away. If you don't get hit by the center of set W, it really doesn't do any damage. It's very, very minor. So there are 2 ways you can play it. You can get the free riposte on the W, and you will still probably win a lot of trades, simply because that's a big part of his damage is that return. But if you're able to W the stun and then simply dodge out of the way of his haymaker in response, then I think that is the ideal play.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. Some people just play this game on 80 ping, and maybe it's just not possible if you were to W the set E. I was just curious, as I like to give Puffalo the benefit of the doubt. Wasn't sure if he was doing it purposely or if it was just a ping thing. Either way, the Fiora is still doing quite well. Both top laners just have a death to their name, and Data is up 10 CS, so maybe the best spot we've seen Data in all series long. However, team can't say the same for the team. 1-3-1 on the Corki, down 20 CS to the cast is not where you want to be. Varus staying pretty relevant with the crowd or the CS scores.
Corki, all right, force the just Valkyries away. Was that the package?
No.
Okay. I have a hard time telling on that skin. It's a little bit more...
It is slightly more, but package is sitting in base right now, so you can hover over there and double check that one for yourself. Anye wants this dive. You can see by the positioning. Might just have to settle for a tower play. Empress is giving the cast the respect it deserves. And the game has slowed down a little bit. I mean, double dragons over. It's DCC's doing everything they need to do. I feel like EMV are just waiting for a slip up at this point. It's almost hard to find a proactive play if you're in EMV's shoes.
Definitely agree. Data with the early Hullbreaker is going to help in this 1v1 quite a bit. The set gets significantly tankier with that in mind. Here comes Arnie. He is going to flash in again as soon as it comes off cooldown. There's the pull. It's a nice double charm with the Encore. Maybe he survives. No, the bomb explodes and gets the kill. Buster shot back, but the jungler's here as well. Villain's almost certainly going to go down to K-Peps, who does flash, although I'm not sure it's needed. Waits for the Sky Splitter to finish the kill. Paco the Taco, once it is going to ult in on McCain. The Humble Trespass. Can he get the kill? He does get one, and Angel's going to clean him up under the turret. It's a 4-for-1 though, and that just isn't what you're looking for if you're EMV right now. This is okay. There we go. Worse. Well, is going to use the W, dashes into the main stun, isn't going to be able to get this last one. Data will keep that against the wall, which is very smart for top laners who play against Fiora. You should know this. You can keep her from popping those vitals by sitting directly next to the wall. So definitely do that if you end up in a situation like that where the ult gets popped and you're able to kind of walk away.
Is here.
Here he comes. Volibear's here. Let's see if Data can get the W off. Is going to do it, and there's the riposte. No chance for a counter kill. Uses the lunge and dashes away, and another kill goes over to DragonClaw. And boy, 14-3. Almost 7,500 gold lead right now.
It's another delayed ace. It's 2 towers off the map. The gold lead is just growing and growing, and what's absolutely disgusting is mid lane's gonna fizzle out. What's absolutely disgusting is it's another mountain soul, which means this team that is so incredibly far ahead of you in damage-wise is now just getting 3 defensive stats and a shield in 7 minutes time, 8 minutes time. It feels so hard from this point in time, and you don't really have playmakers. Your set is somewhat winning the side lane. We'll see how the first items on both these top laners change the landscape up in here in top lane. I'm not confident enough to say one way or the other, but you don't have any proactive playmakers. You've got this Varus.
Oh god, Varus, no! Varus, no! Chain of Corruption is going to land. It doesn't even matter. He's got nowhere to go. There's no flash. And Arnyx is going to pick himself up another kill. Now 5-0-2, getting that tier stacked really, really hard. Now, last game they finished in 23 minutes, and that was without being able to really get the soul, because it was 1 dragon to 1 in about 18 minutes. Arnie is going to walk right into 2 people. Now, Paco the Taco is here. The charm is going to be flashed away from. That's nice. Oh, pull over the wall. He's going to get Taco as well. Stun Daddy now may be locked up, though. You have to remember, this Kayn still does damage. Humble Trash Pass comes out. Angel's been exhausted. He's going to try to get the kill. It's a double knockup from the Red Kayn, and a shutdown. 2 shutdowns, in fact, are going to go over to EMV. A spark of life in an otherwise dismal game.
All right, there's a good play out of EMV. They're not going quietly. They're not going to let the series fall. Really nice to see that come out. Paco the Taco. The AD wanted this man to be the carry. Red Kayn can certainly become one. But now he's just got 2 big kills shoved into his pocket. We'll see if he's able to do anything. Empress Gonna go back to the gray screen.
Yep. Tries to Valk away.
Oh, Villain. No, no,
Villain's
leave
gonna
him
get
alone.
run down by a Volibear.
Leave him
But there's no
alone.
flash. And Villain is going to be popped 0-5 now on the Varus. It's been a rough series for poor old Villain and Peachy in that bot lane. But mercifully, it appears it will be over soon.
Oh, just when you thought the spark of life was there, it's snuffed out. You can just walk through your entire jungle. You're not safe halfway up the mid lane. They're gonna take the Mountain Dragon as it spawns. Angel's just hunting BG.
They are gonna throw down some damage in response, but there's no way out for the Seraphine. Did have Flash, doesn't matter. Rocket Jump still available along with Flash and Exhaust for the Tristana. Means it's a pretty free pickup. Paco, sitting on 3 and 2, is doing everything he can. He's up in CS. He picked up a couple of those shutdowns in the previous fight, but unfortunately, being a jungler with 3 losing lanes is just one of the worst things in League. As Erinyes is going to grab another kill. Immediate flash out. Riftwalk is there. There's the lockdown from the Everfrost. And you just can't even show up on the same half of the map as Erinyes right now. I thought Empress would have a shot this series because they looked very, very good last week and were the big reason their team was able to win, as we see Pupilo getting jumped on. But it has been just pretty much domination outside of the first game, which is a little bit slow. For Erinyes, it has just been straight domination. There is barely enough mana for this to happen. Humble Trespass is going to come out, and he's going to try to keep him from getting the healing pop. Not able to do so, but no mana on this Fiora means he is going to get run down into the arms of the Volibear, though. Oh, good flash from Paco. Is going to get over. Peachy is going to fall, but might get Angel. No slip away with less than 20 HP. I believe that was up. Eventually popped up to 60. So close, but Angel is going to survive by killing the turret. Uh-oh, here comes the set.
Whoa.
Wants to go in. Flash is forced as the pull doesn't quite land from
Corky
Data.
package.
Oh, Corky wants in. They are definitely going to get the Tristana. Now Paco's been exhausted under the turret. No ultimate available. Trying to get away from this Volibear. Will he be able to? Oh, nope, there's a Kassadin. He's definitely going to die. Q didn't actually go off from Erinyes, but he is going to pick it up with Force Pulse. And that's it. So they do get 1 kill, technically. A couple, actually. They get the Fiora in the end. They get the Tristana in the end. But 22 kills to 7. And now Villain and Glass has made the mistake of showing up on the map in the same place as Erinyes. And even Data, who is somewhat of a tank, isn't able to do anything. Showstopper available, but no W means that the set falls. Hullbreaker not helping him out when Villain was nearby. And it continues to go rather poorly for EMV.
It's just bad the worst. It's a 9-0 Kassadin, it's a 9-3 Tristana. Like, the amount of damage coming out of the enemy team is absolutely ridiculous. We're going to need quite a few Erinyes misplays, Angel jump forward, K-Pep, Sonya Zing because he thought he pressed like a pink ward or something. So much has to go catastrophically wrong for DCC to not clean up this game, and they've just been so clean at closing out games with a lead. Even when Buffalo isn't having that pop-off game, he's still applying that pressure from the side lane, and Data trying to be useful, trying to do something for his team. He can win the side lane, but it's not enough. He can group with his team, but he went the Hullbreaker. And even if he didn't, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it would be enough.
No, he needs the Hullbreaker
hunting.
to have a chance in lane, and it just means his team fight prowess is severely reduced. And I gotta be honest, man, Angel could go straight tactical Malphite jumps every single fight and die instantly, and I don't think it changes the outcome 1 iota. It's the rest of the team is just so strong. Yeah, Fiora, it's gonna be 4v5s the rest of the game because Fiora is never gonna group, as she shouldn't. There's no good reason to. But this Kassadin is unbelievably accelerated, like ridiculously accelerated. Even in solo queue, I have never seen a Kassadin this far ahead, and it's just like he scales so hard. He's already got 3 items at 21 minutes.
You ever just pick up a Dark Seal at 20 minutes because you didn't have anything else to buy with your 400 gold, and you're like, yeah, I'm 9 kills, I'll probably get some more.
Well, his teammate did last game.
That's very true. Worked out. Oh, okay, K-Pep's had that Dark Seal from like minute 8. Angel has a problem with Peachy, and they need to settle it off the Rift because Peachy's not winning on the Rift.
Nope, Peachy is unfortunately very softly spoken targets for the Tristana right now, who's clearly just having fun at this stage, interested in getting as many kills as possible, as Paco is going to get collapsed on. Heavy mobility on the Kayn, but he stopped to W, and that is going to be the pull. Meanwhile, Corki dies in the bot side. Another solo kill for showing on the same map as the Kassadin, who is level 14. Boy, it only gets worse when he hits 16, and that damage really starts to ramp up as well. Dragon spawns in 30 seconds, and you have to imagine that will be the target. Baron is up and hasn't been taken yet, which is actually a little bit surprising. PG has just died a lot, and he doesn't have much of a choice. There's another Rift Walk. He isn't going to be able to get out, though. There's the pull. Rift flash away from Arneen. Is it going to be enough? There comes Stun Daddy over the wall to protect his mid laner, and that shutdown not going to be given over just yet. Or is it? Here we go. They do want Villain. He's going to get the Grand Challenge popped. Knockup comes in. Data needs the W. Just doesn't do enough damage, though. He gets the pull, the stun. But the face breaker does not break faces enough. And he will fall. Well, Under Tower goes on. He does have... I was going to say, he's dead, though. Oh, no, the W was this time. Paco is going to get the Elder Trespass. He's going to get the shutdown. That's 1,000 gold. That's huge. Not enough damage available to deal with this Tristana, I don't think. Nice riposte coming out blind, I think. Oh, no, the blue ward was down for Buffalo. I did see that coming. But it's just a bloodbath, as right now DragonClaw is messing around, and unfortunately EMV are their targets.
It's very rough. Feels like the bot lane's absolutely getting the end of the stick. Empress with 8 deaths as well. Senor Paco the Taco feels like the last hope, but as K-Pep solos out the Dragon Soul at 23 minutes, the hope is dwindling for EMV, and this is their last chance, Rhino. It's 2-0 already in the series, and DCC are knocking on the door of that 3-zip. It's not a great look for EMV, but they need to pull a miracle out of somewhere if they want to stay alive.
Here we go. Needs to get the riposte down. Chooses to do it on that and not on the Showmaker, but the Showmaker was on cooldown. Actually never came out. But is able to get away with Flash. Here comes Angel. Oh, look, it's a bot laner. And Angel gets another kill. Is going to jump forward again. Is going to get the knockout. They're trying to go on to Buffalo here. Riposte is probably still available. They are going to get the W down. Buffalo, though, able to get out over the wall using the dash and the flash. Okay, not able to follow quickly enough, so they give up an inhib in the mid lane for an attempted pick on the top side. And unfortunately, like everything else this game, it feels as though it fails.
How absolutely doomed is a game when your Tristana has no fear to jump face first into the enemy inhibitor, 3 members there, while your fed 12-1 Kassadin is just taking blue buff. Like, it is not fair what EMV have to fight up against right now. Going into the Mountain Soul makes them also tanky. Angel has so many additional resistances just with their shield. They're going to grab the purple worm, and it feels like the game's starting to drag, but honestly, we're probably looking for just one more good team fight out of TCC to clean the game.
I agree with you for sure. I'm a little bit disappointed, actually, that it's taking longer than Game 2. I feel like they had a much more dominant position. And as fun as it is,
they seem to be having a bit fun.
They are definitely having fun. It's, I guess, when you're in a semifinals match, you're headed towards quarters. Sometimes it can be really nice to put a super clean game on paper, but at the same time, this is a for fun league, and so I guess I can't fault anyone for wanting to have a good time with it. As the game dwindles to a close, this game may be the slowest of the series. They ended the other game at 27 minutes, so this actually. Even though this is definitely a more impressive victory, this may be the slowest one, especially if they get picked off here. We can see Data over the wall. He's going to take half his health bar. Yeah, it is damage. The W
Angel.
Out. Angel's there. He's going in. He flashes away. Here comes K-Pep shutting down the turret with the Stormbringer. Stun Daddy. Nice silence, but the Ember Trespass is still going to come out. And they've actually only managed to kill one so far, the 0-5 top. Flash forward into the hook. Poor old Peachy is just not allowed to exist in this game. He has lost his right to live, but all the minions are gone from mid lane. They need to pull in this bot wave, and it appears as though they're not done just yet.
Oh, it's so sad. You know what? Honestly, I think you some inkling here with the win rate for the Blitzcrank against Seraphine. Angel just has a... he's got some...
Oh! The explosions and the bomb on the fountain. That is a fantastic way to end this game. A dominant 3-0 from DCC. Fort Hays State. We'll see you next week.
I'm really hoping our producer just
push it away and I'm chasing whispers before they all just fade. So how can I leave it all behind when I refuse to watch it fall to dust? I will find a this porcelain mirage may start to break. Each piece a reminder, every single little mistake. So how can I leave it all behind when I refuse to watch it fall to dust? Tell me why it won't ever be the same. I'll burn it all, no matter who's to blame.
All right, we're back for one final time as Dragon. Oh my God. DragonClaw Cloud takes the sweep 3-0 against Erinyes Malevolent Vendetta. We have with us, joining us, of course, Young Valiant and Lame still on the analyst desk, as well as we're joined by the ADC for DragonClaw Cloud. My name's Angel. Angel, you put on a clinic in this last game, and in fact, your entire team did. Let's get some general first thoughts on the entire series as a whole. What was the game plan? What were the thoughts coming into this series? And how did it play out?
Sure. So, I mean, going in, we kind of kept the same game plan that we had against them. We had played them like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we kind of already were familiar with how they like to play, especially towards camping their jungler on a specific side of the map, depending on how he felt. He doesn't move around the map, like he pretty much stays on one half. So it was kind of easy to tell where he was majority of the time. As for pick bans, just keeping people off certain comforts. Kind of, they have a couple picks that are kind of like band-aids for their team, it feels like the Ari, the Wukong, the Soraka. They cover a lot of holes that they have, and I think it showed.
Can you elaborate on some of these holes that you were looking to expose by getting rid of those champions?
Yeah, sure. So, like, for instance, the Soraka and the Karma, the support tends to play these champions that facilitate their jungler being very aggressive on these in-your-face junglers, like the Xin he tried to pull off, like the Wukong he's capable of, and that's really their style. Is instead of the jungler facilitating the lanes for the lanes to get ahead, a lot of the times the lanes play for their jungler, because Paco does play these carry style junglers that like to go in a lot, and he needs income for it.
Oh, I see. Kind of just exposing those weaknesses. Valiant or Lame, do you guys have any some thoughts on this final game here? Any questions for Angel here?
I do. I said coming into this, since we did play EMV the last 2 weeks in a row, actually, with our final game of regular and our first game of the playoffs, which they ended up beating us in. I was really interested to see you guys' picks and bans, and I was really interested in your guys' draft theory here, because, like I said, we didn't necessarily. We were all late season roster shakeup, so we didn't really have the knowledge of what Paco is capable of. So it's interesting to know now that you guys were really focused on keeping Paco out of the driver's seat. Do you think that mental came into it? Because in this long series, it's an extra game. Do you think that from the get-go, right out of the gates, do you think that mental had a play in it? And I have to ask one other question. In game 1, we saw your laner play the Corki pick, your mid laner, so which we know is Empress Tenebria's bread and butter. Was that a deliberate play to try and get into the head early on?
Okay, so first off with the Corki question, Herrings himself is a Corki connoisseur of his own. He'll pick it into pretty much anything. The guy's a psychopath. But based on the other things that they had banned, and he saw that the Syndra versus Corki matchup statistically was still not favored in Corki's side, he didn't really care too much. So it wasn't necessarily trying to get in their head or anything. We actually thought they were going to pick it, and we were going to pick Kassadin like we did in the third game. But they ended up going with the Syndra early instead. And then for the mental thing, like I said a little bit ago, I think the early stages of game 1 were pretty close. There were a couple team fights, like the one by Rift that went like 2 for 2 or 3 for 3, and then there was a dragon fight that we barely won. Things were pretty close, but I think their mental kind of broke a little bit after game 1, and they definitely weren't as tight heading into 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. I think that we saw a really competitive early of game 1, and I think that the gap kind of just widened from there, as you said. So, Lame, do you have any questions for Mr. Angel?
I do have one question. Why'd you do it?
Which one?
Why'd you do it? That was a murder.
I'll be honest. At the end, I was just trying to catch up to hangs and kills.
Sounds like at that point you were just competing with each other and not so much the other team. Oh god, you hate to see it.
Yeah, mid laners just keep gassing me, man.
All right. So we have a final setup for DragonClaw Cloud versus Forte State University. They did get a bye with the forfeit from Syndicate this past week, but they did also put on a good showing against Team Quick Attack in the quarterfinals, with Cornslinger and Arlise in particular, their ADC kind of standing out. Are there any things that you're particularly worried about, or kind of that you may change up going into the finals matchup with the added pressure of this being the last series and the chip on the line? Like, how is the emotions of the team? What do you think? Are we riding high? Are we really hitting the game the scrims hard this week? Or are we taking a little rest?
Fort Hayes definitely nothing to laugh at. They are the only team that beat us. I think we had already secured first seed and stuff, so I don't want to say we weren't 100% in that series, but we did lose. That's just a fact. So I think we've learned a lot from how they play just off that series, and we watched their GQA series. So I am looking forward to playing them again, especially Arlise, because I'm going to be honest, most of the 80 carries in bot lanes in general in the server are not up to snuff.
Well, that hurts my feelings a little bit.
No, a lot of them, I feel like they have a lot of room to improve, and a lot of it is because of roster stability. And it was the same case here with EMV. I remember Villain playing pretty well last time we played them, when he was playing like they did like some Kog'Maw thing, but he had, I think, Data as his support then, and they had to swap them top or something now for some reason. So I just think a lot of it is just like roster stability and stuff like that. We haven't had any roster swaps except for a top lane carousel, which doesn't matter as much, but like our core four, we've been playing together for months.
Absolutely. So stability kind of played a part, and almost again we see it again and yet again in Titan. The power of friendship prevails. Any final thoughts or questions from you, Valiant or Lame?
I don't have any more questions. All I can say is that I wish I would have got to play against you in the bot lane, but your matchup with us came before me and Renji really got into the league. So all I can say is congrats on this one, and hopefully next split, if everything's still in the same way, I look forward to playing against you.
Yeah, man, I love this league. I think this is one of the more put together leagues in terms of scheduling, making sure there aren't smurfs, things like that.
Absolutely. What about you, Lame? Any final thoughts or questions here for Angel here?
How does it feel knowing you're about to lose 3-0 to the actual best team in the league?
Fort Hayes.
A loaded question.
I mean, if you think about it, right, you guys beat everybody, and then they beat you.
So surely.
Yeah, I can't wait to read the recap next week and see that we have losing matchups across the board all over again. I swear to God, Sems hates me. I could go 17-1, and my man would be like, he'd lose to a twig. But when it comes to Fort Hayes next week, it's not going to be as easy as last time. That's all I'll say.
All right. Any shout outs that you want to give as we wrap up here? I'm on the analyst desk. Angel, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Just want to shout out my org for letting us participate in stuff like this. Shout out our coach for draft gapping all the time. He doesn't get enough credit. And yeah, the game's really easy when you have the best move in the server by far.
Awesome. Shout out to the org. All right, we're going to wrap it up here on the analyst desk. I'm Goose, joined by the metaphorical Valiant and, of course, the incredible Lame. we're going to be sure to join us next week on Titan Esports as we join and start finals week here. First, starting with Monday for Divinity, it's going to be BDE, Big Damage Energy versus who are we playing? I forget. The Notorious TLP and Gang, and then again Wednesday for Fort Hays State University versus DragonClaw Cloud on Titan Esports. That's going to do it for us on the analyst desk. Signing off. See you later.
You better win, BD.